Greetings, gentle observer, and welcome. I am Robert Farmer, and I feel that this is by far the most important, the most significant video I have ever broadcast. For within it I will show how the phenomena known as climate change simply does not, indeed cannot, possibly exist. And in so doing I shall expose the startling truth that all climate alarmists, including governments, the media, the world of academia, and even the erroneously named Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, have all got it wrong and are consistently failing to see, or perhaps purposefully ignoring, the elephant in the room. So that I might expose this fundamental error, and so expose climate change itself as a hoax, I must first make clear that the phrase climate change has undergone a change of meaning in recent years. For climate change originally meant just that, a change in the climate, which of course can and indeed has come about many, many times before in the Earth's long geological history. This being so, and to make myself perfectly clear, I do not deny that the climate itself can and does change in line with its original definition. Now, however, this definition has been taken over, changed and corrupted by the climate alarmists, so that today climate change means change is brought about to all manner of things in our daily lives by the climate itself. For climate change is now attributable to everything from global warming to hens laying fewer eggs, from sea level rise to chocolate bars getting smaller with each passing day. This being so, and to be clear, within this video, any reference I make to climate change is to its current corrupted definition. That is to say, the climate's ability to effect changes in all manner of things here on planet Earth. Indeed, so many things are now attributable to climate change that it is not possible for me to cover them all within the limited time available. And so, and in order to expedite matters, I will concentrate upon just one aspect of climate change, that being its effect upon the world's weather. For we are told that climate change is causing all manner of extreme weather events right across the globe, with more tornadoes, more hurricanes, more flooding and more drought. Here I would mention that the world's climate was first classified by meteorologist Vladimir Köppen around 120 years ago. And he divided the climate into 5 main categories, these being tropical, dry, continental, temperate and polar, with each classification, except polar, having a number of subdivisions. Excuse me. With these classifications being based and dependent upon temperature, precipitation and the type of vegetation growing within each climate zone. Excuse me again. Köppen also gave us a definition of climate. And although different organisations may word this in different ways, broadly speaking, this definition is still in use today by meteorologists throughout the world. And with this definition being, the climate is an observation and classification of the average weather as recorded in any particular geographical location over and including the preceding 30 years. What this definition tells us then is that the climate is no more than a summary and classification of the weather over the past 30 years. And this being so, whilst weather clearly exists in a physical form, climate exists only as an abstract, non-physical, man-made construct. And so, to assert that something with no physical form, that is to say, the climate, has the power to affect the weather is erroneous in the extreme. Indeed, it is a scientific impossibility, for the climate is weather, and so clearly the weather cannot exert influence over itself. Here in the UK, for example, our climate is categorised as temperate, just as it was 30 years ago. And so, and in this respect, the climate has not changed at all. Moreover, I suspect that in 30 years' time, our climate will still be classified as temperate. I could, however, be totally wrong in this belief, for should the next ice age suddenly be upon us, then our climate, in response to changing weather, would change its classification from that of temperate to polar. As to how and why this all but surreal situation has come about is explained by the simple fact that climate change, or rather the corrupt definition of climate change, has now become a religion, with its followers blindly accepting all and everything they are told, irrespective as to how bizarre or how fanciful. Indeed, this new pseudo-religion even has its high priestess, in the form of the Joan of Arc-like figure, Miss Greta Thunberg. And it has an archbishop in the form of our very own Sir David Attenborough, both of whom preach the climate change gospel with true religious fervour. Scientifically and meteorologically speaking, and using its current definition, there is in reality no such thing as climate change. There is instead a multi-billion-pound climate change rip-off we are all having to pay for, and a pseudo-religion, the climate zealots, are aiding and abetting to perpetuate, and indeed to expand, with their meaningless, nonsensical, unscientific, and indeed paradoxical rhetoric. I thank you for watching my humble video, and I do so hope you will subscribe and press the notification